What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at the DX9 Gewalt, their version of a masterpiece Blitzwing. Now, this is an older figure, but this is a reissue, so I am going to do an unboxing here just in case something is different. I actually never owned a copy of this. Here's the back. You get those nice line artwork. Here's some more artwork. DX9 has some pretty fancy boxes here. You got almost like Rushmore there. Pretty cool artwork. And even on the front, very, very cool. Honor, pride, victory, join the empire. It's too bad DX9 is not in the game anymore. They made some great stuff. Alright, you do get, looks like you get a poster here, so that'll be interesting. Yeah. And I remember getting other posters from DX9. I should really take those out of the boxes and put them on display. Here's your collector's card. Nice, solid credit card style. And there's your tech specs. Nice artwork there. You get this poster, which is pretty cool. I believe the original came with this too, but that's pretty neat. I wonder who the artist is doing this. I think this should actually go on display. So, and then we got the instructions. These don't look great, but there's it. For that, let's get this guy out of here. He is huge, much bigger than I thought. Get that out. Here's the sword, gun, and looks like a spudger. And off to the side in a little baggie, they had this alternate face, yelling face here, so we'll take a look at that as well. Alright, and there it is out of the packaging. Really hefty, cool looking tank. Got some details here. You got the little headlights or whatever those are. Gray and red detail there. You do have the cockpit up here. I mean, there are some options. You can kind of fold that down. Here, let's see. You can sort of do it and hide it away if you want to. Kind of like that. It's not perfect, but if you don't like that, and I believe that's actually cartoon accurate, so that's how they want you to have it. You can also put it like that if you want to, facing upwards, whatever you want. There's a couple options there. The turret here can rotate. I don't think it goes all the way around just because of the way this is set up. It starts to come apart if you try to go all the way. So it goes up to there, up to there, up to there, down to there. This does extend. It's extended all the way already. And pretty cool looking tank. It does have wheels down here. It's not actual treads. It's 4 wheels. It does rotate on those wheels. You do have this hanging out back here. It's kind of ugly. If you wanted to, you could take that off and it looks a little better like that, honestly. Actually, I think that looks a lot better. So if you didn't want to have these are the fins for the jet mode, then you could take these off, and that just makes it look a little bit cleaner back here. It looks actually more like a tank. But of course, you need that for transformation, so you may not want to do that. Here's the back. You got some painted detail here. Overall, pretty nice looking tank here. You do get some accessories which you can mount in this mode. So the sword can mount right here on either side, really. And then you have this weapon here, which I haven't really found a spot for other than right here. You just kind of have it like an antenna or something hanging off the back. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Transform Element Optimus Prime. This is a big tank. It really is huge. It's wider, longer, almost about the same height, but there you go for comparison. Alright, let's get this guy transformed into his jet mode. We'll start off by separating this tank piece here. We're going to take out this gun, and you can just set this aside for now. We're going to take these, and you can clap those back together so that they're one piece. Go ahead and lift up these wings here. I'm going to fold those out to the outside. You can come to the back here, and we're going to take these and fold these out, and those can just sit back here for now. We're going to unpeg the tank from the sides here. So it is pegged in. I can use a spudger or whatever to separate it, but it is pegged into the side of the tank mode here. There we go. And same on this side. And we're going to take this whole piece and you can fold these up. And this is all going to rotate backwards. You can kind of see how this has come together. But bring this down. And make sure this is tabbed together. All of this should be kind of attached. Go to the bottom here. Make sure this is opened up all the way. And these two tabs are going to fit into the back of here. So get that tabbed in. Making sure to watch out for these fins. These fins get in the way kind of everywhere. You could actually have this entire thing without those fins if you wanted to. You don't even need them, honestly, for any of the modes. The purple ones, I mean. So if you wanted to, you could just eliminate them completely from this figure. But since it is there, I'll show it with it. We're going to get this down. We're going to open this up. And it's going to come all the way down. And tab in. And that kind of makes the back. Come to the treads here, unpeg the treads from here. Then you can unpeg this. These treads are going to fold, or I guess unpeg from here and accordion down. And then you can take this, pull this outwards on this tab here. It's going to go all the way back and tab into the back. All right, same on this side. We can unpeg this from here, accordion this down. It's going to pull outwards, fold back, and then tab into the back. And these wings are going to tab into the top of those, so just tab them in like that. And this side, tab in the wing. And those are pretty much ready. You can straighten up these. They're going to move on you, but we'll straighten them up. All right, come to the bottom here. We're going to take all of this and accordion this out. So open up these panels here. I pulled that off the peg there. Open up this panel right here. Allow you to take this entire thing and flip it open. Take the head, and that's going to push down and sit flat on the top. Then we take this whole nose cone piece here. That's going to flip all the way around. Take these pieces, and those are going to sit flat on the chest, so you can kind of just rotate the head and get those down. Right, fold the arm over. Take this panel here, that's going to slide in to the arm. Bring this up. Rotate the arm so that you end up with this on the back. You can close this down over here and then close this down. Come to the top here. You can take the nose cone here, bring that forward, and that's going to sit on top of there. Open up this nose cone, tab that together. Open up this nose cone, tab that together, and it should end up with something like that. Close this panel down. This is going to tab back into here, so when you close that up, you can tab that in on the top. Come back to the bottom here. Now we can fix all this. I had this misconfigured. Right, so get the head so that it's facing downwards. Then we're going to take these arms and get them rotated in. And make sure you work your way underneath these wings, both sides. This is going to come back and tab into here. Close these down. They should sit nice and flush on the outside. If they don't, Make sure that tab makes its way in. Come to the top here, and these are going to accordion back and tab into the front of the jet. These are actually pretty tight tabs, so taking these out will be a little bit tough. And there is DX9 Gewalt in his jet mode. Pretty nice looking with the G1 cartoon up there so you can take a look. It's kind of close, but the proportion's a little bit off. For example, this cockpit is kind of small, but looking at the cartoon, it is actually small there too. It's just proportionally, it's got a long nose, whereas the cartoon's a little bit shorter, and it's also a long overall jet. So that's one thing. They do have the nice painted colors here. You have intakes here. If you don't like those, you can rotate them to the flat side, which we'll see in the robot mode. But I think it looks better with the little details there or whatever, but you have that option to do it however you like. Here's the wings. You got some silver paint here, red paint here. On the back, you got the boosters, which are painted in this silver. That looks good. Bottom side is actually pretty darn clean for a Blitzwing. Usually the Blitzwing is a big mess down here. It does have these pieces here on the side, but that tends to be accurate to the Blitzwing cartoon model. So pretty good overall. You do have landing gear here. Now it does kind of fold in on the front. The rear ones are really nice and solid. So if you're folding forward, it rolls just fine. As soon as you go back, that front one falls down. There should have been a locking mechanism or a spring or something to just hold it back. It is metal, die-cast metal. It just needed something to hold it in. Now you can mount the accessories here in the jet mode. So you can take this. This one is the only one that doesn't really mount, but you can kind of fake mount it. You can basically fit it in right here. And that'll just sit right under there. You can take this one here, that, and then you can take the sword, although it looks silly, and then you can set him down, and there he is with all of the weapons attached and being stowed. Kind of cool. And for a size comparison, there it is next to the MP52 Skywarp. And you can see it's bigger in pretty much every dimension. It's taller, it's wider, and it's longer. So it does look like a big jet compared to existing MP jets. But I'm kind of okay with it because it's Blitzwing. You know, Blitzwing is just kind of a big character in general. But just so you know, it is bigger than most of the Masterpiece scale jets. Alright, now let's get this guy transformed into his robot mode. Pretty easy and fun transformation. Go ahead and fold that in if it didn't already fold in on its own. Fold these landing gear in. I'm going to start with removing these arms. So open up this panel here. Come to the top here. We're going to unpeg these. These can be a little bit ornery to take out, so you might need a spudger. You can use the provided spudger to basically wedge in here and get these apart. But you want to get these folded out on both sides. And like I said, my copy is a little bit tight, but that tool definitely helps. Then you can open up these panels here and come to the side here is the best way to show you. Have this open. We're going to take this entire arm, fold that up, and we're going to take this panel here, fold that inwards. So that's sitting inside that little purple piece. You're going to rotate this whole thing 90 degrees, and make sure you're rotating on the gray piece down here, not on the arm ratchet. Right? Once you get it over here, that's going to come down and sit like that, and then you can take this and close that up. And that kind of covers down that piece. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. So go ahead and lift this up, rotate on the gray piece underneath and not the top piece. Before you do that, make sure you close this. Then rotate on the gray piece. Make sure you're rotating on that and not the arm ratchet. Fold that down. Tab that in. You're going to take these pieces and fold those out. Those are just tabbed in right here. And now we can take care of the our body here. So rotate the head, and as you do that, these panels will pop up. Rotate it the other way, that panel will pop up, and we'll take care of this. So go ahead and take this panel, fold that down and out of the way. Allow you to pick these panels up and get those out. Take these feet, rotate those around, and tab them to the bottom. Now you take this. It's kind of cool how it works, but it basically takes these leg panels and the wheels end up in this little hole there. It's really kind of cool how that came together. Alright, next we'll take care of the head and the chest here. So yeah, this wheel is just annoying. But go ahead and fold this down. We're going to open up this panel here. That'll allow you to take the entire head. Make sure the head's straight. That should come through. And then we can take care of this piece here. So use your handy spudger, DX9 spudger. Fold these nose cones back. Take this nose cone, and that's going to go up and tab into here. Like that. And that whole thing's going to come down. You can bring this hip skirt piece down, and then bring this piece down. And that's going to sit down there. These little pieces can just sit back here for now. Right, open up these panels. Bring these arm panels in, and then you can bring these panels in, and they'll just sit right there. And that kind of makes up the chest. So you can see how that works. And these can stay right here for now. Come to the back here, we're going to actually take this whole panel, open these two panels up, allow you to take this entire backpack and coordinate it up. There's a slot right here, a tab right here. Go ahead and close this. That's going to tab onto here. So flip this all the way around on those double hinges, and then tab that into the back. Then we're going to take these panels, fold these down so they fit onto here. Take your tracks here, those are going to tab in to the backpack on both sides. Fold your wings back, fold this forward, and then fold this tab down. My tabs were actually backwards, so they had installed these incorrectly. They were reversed, so when they folded it down, it was popping off. So if you have that problem, just reverse the tab piece there. Right, same on this side, fold that back, fold that down, and that's kind of what your backpack's going to look like. Fold these arms down. Come to the legs here, you can separate these legs. And come to the back, we're going to open up these heels. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could actually leave it like this. It just doesn't work as well. So you do need to open up this heel, split this heel. And bring that all the way around, and that's going to make his heel right there. Same on this. Split the heel, fold that up, and that's going to make the heel. All right, make sure you tab those in. These are going to flip around and sit just like that. This is going to flip down and go like that. It's just going to sit it on top. It doesn't really tab in or anything. All right, same on this one. Flip around, just sit like that right in front of that tab right there. That peg, and then this is going to come down, and now your feet are pretty much done. I do find you need to kind of angle the feet or the hips for him to be kind of more stable. Now we'll work on the arms. So come to here, and I wanted to mention this. So there is a little panel right here on the inside. I think you're intended to open this up because it gives it more articulation. So that's been to be on the outside. So you can do this. But it opens up that gap here. So if you don't want that gap, you can close that up. So I'm going to leave it like this, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But come down to here, open this up. These hands are interesting the way they work. So get this thumb out of the way. And again, you can use your spudger here and just get it underneath here. Once you get it under there, you can flip this whole piece up. Flip the hand out. You can bring this thumb piece down and fold it on the inside, and then you can make a fist or whatever you want. Bring this piece down, and then this is going to tab into the top of that. This is a painted piece, by the way. Alright, so same on this side. Open this up, bring your thumb out, get your little spudger. That helps you get some leverage on this hand. And once you get that out just enough, you can work the rest with your hand. Bring this all the way out, bring this down, tab that back in, and then you can bring this to the inside, close up that fist. And then the last finishing touch here is to take this gun here, which we had in the tank mode. You're going to open up this piece right here, and there's a little tab right there, and that's going to fit right on this square peg there. Go ahead and take this panel here, that's going to flip inwards, and then fold this down, revealing that little stripe there. And one final thing, go ahead and take the chest and peg that down in and line it up, make sure it goes in. And there we have Gewalt transformed into his robot mode. Pretty cool looking robot mode. Let's put the G1 cartoon image there so you can see for yourself. I think they got it pretty close. There's some things that are a little off, like for example, on the chest here you got the blue for the canopy. In the cartoon it was just purple, so I don't know, they got rid of the canopy basically, but you do have the yellow here, the red here on the sides. You do have the silver here and here, purple on the shoulders. That all makes sense. This is the colors. The legs look really good there. The feet are close. They're a little off. I mean, they look a little wonky. This isn't quite right, but it's close. It's close. Here's the back, and you have a pretty big backpack, but that is what you get with a Blitzwing. You need this kind of configuration with the tracks and the gun in there. I'll show you. You can do more with that gun. And let's go around the articulation. The head goes up to there, down to there. Not really a lot. Kind of limited there. Rotates around on that joint. A little bit of side to side out of that head. You can move these pieces up and down, and then the shoulders. Now, this is kind of an option, so I'll mention that. If you want to have movement in the shoulder, you put this to the outside. Now you can get the shoulder all the way up, out of the way. So that gives you a little more articulation. Only thing is now it exposes this, so if you have his shoulder posed, something like that, you'll see down into there. So it's kind of your choice. If you don't like these little shoulder bits, you can actually just move them back. He doesn't look right when you have it like that, but that is an option if you want to do that. But for the most articulation, you want to have these down to the side. You can rotate them all the way around on a nice, strong ratchet. Remember when everything used to be ratcheted? This is one of those. Rotation at the bicep. Double joint L gets a full bend, also for transformation. Rotation at the wrist. You have a ball joint at the wrist, so it allows you to go in and out on the hands. You can get some really expressive movements. The bottom three fingers are pinned together, so they're on 2 pins, one at the middle and then one at the base. But they left his pointer finger separate with 2 pins, so you can point his finger. So that really works well. And then the thumb is on a ball joint, and it's on this joint here as well, so you can rotate it out to the side. So some nice hands here. I haven't seen a lot of hands done this way. Those work pretty well. You have, let's get this back. You have rotation at the waist on a ratchet, nice tight ratchet. I'll pick that up later. It's a die-cast joint here in the middle that's holding it together. So that works. It looks really good, and it's nice and solid. For the legs, you have a hip skirt that moves out of the way there. Legs go up to there until it collides there. Not a lot of movement. You can kind of move it to the side and get a little bit more. Back to here, same thing. Move it to the side, you get a little bit more. Not much. Out to the side on a ratchet. Nice strong ratchets there on that leg. Rotation around the universal there at the thigh. Nice double jointed knee. Gets you the full rotation all the way. Really cool. And it's on ratchets, which is awesome. These feet sometimes pop off this. There's a little tab here. I recommend putting a little bit of kiki inside here to allow it to stay a little bit better. But These feet can rotate in and out and up and down on a joint here. The heel moves independently, so that can move in and out as well, and up and down, so you can get some poses out of the heel and toe separately. And now as far as accessories, you get a couple options here. So you get the classic sword, translucent purple here with purple plastic for this. You can actually stow this, so if you don't want it on him, you can actually just attach it to his backpack here. Actually, can you do it with this closed? Yeah, you can. So you can store that back there. The gun doesn't seem to attach back here. We can just kind of stick it somewhere. I don't know. You can store it right there. But both of these will go into his hand. So if you open that up, he's got the little tab. Classic third-party hands here. And that'll tab in. He'll hold that nice and secure. Same for this. It's got a little tab. Get that in. And you'll hold that nice and secure as well. And these are the cartoon accurate, purple weapons. I think those look good, but if you prefer, you can take this weapon off his back. And this has a little auto-morphing feature, which is kind of cool. So as you bring this down, it raises up that centerpiece. Got kind of a sight or whatever. That looks really cool. It's a good option to have that. Me personally, I'd probably use the purple ones, but it's cool that you can do that. But there you go for the accessories. And for size comparison, there it is next to the Fans Toys Thomas, their version of Astro Train, and the MP44 Optimus Prime. And this is a big guy. He towers over most of the Masterpiece scale bots. Pretty big robot. It would be nice if you scale a little bit closer with this guy. Obviously, it was made much earlier, much before Fans Toys Thomas came out. But there you go for comparison. I really like the size on this guy. So, final thoughts on the DX9 Gewalt. Let's start with the positives. Overall, I think this is a really good-looking robot in all three modes. It pulls off the character and the vehicles just close enough to be passable. They're not perfect, but I think they look good. I do like the accessories, the sword, the gun, and then the option to take this one off and make that into a gun. That's just smart and a really cool thing to add in there. There isn't a lot of paint on this guy, but where it is painted, it does look nice. It could stand to have a little more paint. I'm guessing when the Fans Toys one comes out, it's going to be fully painted. So it does kind of show its age with a lot of the plastic parts. But overall, I think it's a pretty good looking bot. The build quality is also really high. I never felt like it was going to break or, kind of fall apart in any of the modes. There's a couple little panels here and there that aren't perfect, like, for example, these on the legs, but it feels solid. And DX9 is always good at making nice, solid bots, so I definitely appreciate that. Thickness-wise, it's not quite there in terms of the cartoon accuracy. There's little things like, for example, the canopy on the chest or the cockpit on the chest, and in the jet mode and the tank mode, the proportions a little bit off. It's kind of a little too big, but you're getting a lot for your money. It's a big robot. It's right now it's a reissue is available for around $100, so that is a pretty good value. So while it is kind of too big, slightly too big to fit in with a Masterpiece, for me personally, I think it's a great Masterpiece Blitzwing. So I do recommend it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.